All right, so here's the interesting subject. All right, so this subject is about bars that used to give musicians free beer when they perform. Usually, it would come into a form of a pitcher. So if you played in a band, your band would all get like their own cup, and you get a pitcher, and then you would get all the pitchers of beer you wanted for the 4 hour duration of the show. And that's not really a thing anymore. Now, I've been in the scene long enough to remember a time where, now it wasn't every bar, but majority of them, I mean, the ones I was performing at were doing that. And and I had a talk with a musician about a month ago. He was an older musician, and and it was at a gig of his. And then I was ordering a beer, and then I was buying him one too. And he was just like, "Man, I remember a time where we got him on the house." And then I joked and I said, "Oh, like in Blues Brothers, where that's not the case," and shit goes south. And he laughed a little, and then he was like, "No, man, I remember when it was like almost every bar did this for musicians." And I said, "Oh yeah, I've done a few places like that." Now there was college bars where you get maybe a certain draft beer, or you'd get like one of their cheap. It always would be the cheaper beers. It would be like a Hams or some weird beer from Milwaukee I never heard of. And some like they would, yeah, you'd get that all night. And then some were like you'd get 5 beers, 5 free beers if you're performing. And then after you've surpassed 5, then you have to pay, right? Uh, and there was another college bar I did where they did, I think you got a drink ticket. So it's like you got like 40% off your tab or something like that. Something like that. So there's been different variations of this concept that still get used to this day. Just depends on the venue, right? Well, I remember when that stopped being, I remember when bars full on stopped. And there was one particular bar here in Tulsa, and they're not around anymore. And and I played there a few times, and that's what they did. And then I came in for a show, and then the owner told me, "Hey, just let you know, we're not doing the free beer for musicians thing anymore. Just FYI." I was like, "Really? Why?" And she goes, "Because they share it with their friends. They come in, we give them their pitcher, their group of friends come out, and they're not buying drinks because they're friends with the band. So they get all the free beer they want, and we get fucked. We don't make any money. And we are not going to be able to stay open," which they eventually did stay open, but that was for other reasons I'm not going to get into. Um, and I've heard that from other bar owners. Same thing has happened when bars will pay a guarantee, a flat rate to bands, to musicians, which are my favorite because when I have because all my shows I do have expenses. So if there's a guarantee versus me just hoping the show goes well. So those are also very far in between these days. Same thing. We used to do a flat rate of 300, 400, 500. No, the bands don't promote. Nobody's here. We lose money. And so it's just common sense that if a business loses money, they're probably not going to be open. So they do have to make very hard decisions. And so the free beer thing has diminished over the years. Can't recall last time you would entirely even get that kind of complimentary beverage at a show. And it just goes to show that it doesn't take many people. It only takes a few people to ruin it for everybody. So thanks for that.